Hello, my name is May and today we are looking at my second trimester. More specifically, what people describe as the best part of pregnancy. And in some ways it is. You're finally moving on from feeling nauseated all the time, and you may start to feel and see your baby move. But personally, I think there is no golden period. It's just a slight improvement on the incredibly unpleasant first trimester. So I entered my second trimester around mid-October 2021, which feels an incredibly long time ago now. And unfortunately, there is no magical off switch that turns off your morning sickness as a reward for dealing with it for 3 months. But good news, it does start to ease off within a couple of weeks as your hormones have finally decided they're gonna balance out. It's a really unusual shift as you go from feeling awful all the time to pretty much normal. So I've taken this opportunity to go on holiday. Now, if someone told me I'd be up at 6 AM boarding a plane to go to Greece in my first trimester, I would have laughed at them. But it's amazing how your body adapts. I'd gone from barely moving for 2 months to a full-on active holiday. I was swimming every day, walking up mountains, taking coastal walks. One of them even ended up in an engagement. Generally, I was feeling much more myself again. My energy levels were bordering on normal, and I was finally starting to enjoy my pregnancy. I think generally women love the second trimester so much because you start to return to your normal routine whilst getting to experience growing and nurturing your little person. Coming back from holiday, I was able to start doing normal things again. Going out for dinner and lunch, going to the theatre and to work, going to a rock concert. I actually remember this really well because, funnily enough, it was one of the first times that baby started responding to sound. The drums would play really loudly and they would literally start somersaulting around my stomach. If they're not a massive fan of Biffy Clyro, I'm going to be seriously shocked. Feeling your baby move is such a wonderful and unusual experience. Movement for me started very early, around 17 or 18 weeks, and ever since I have had an unbelievably active child. They say your baby picks up a type of routine in the womb. Well, mine's routine is that we enjoy moving constantly, especially when mama is trying to sleep. For any of you still waiting to feel your baby's movements, it starts by feeling like little flutters in your stomach that get stronger and stronger until you reach full-on kicking, which is meant to start around early trimester 3. The best way I can describe it is when you've drunk loads and loads of water and you can kind of feel it sloshing around in your stomach. So my partner, of course, didn't feel the movements until much later on. We used to lie in bed with his hands on my stomach just waiting for baby to move. It was such a magical experience when he finally felt them. There was a lot of cheering at that point. Another big thing in trimester 2 is the growing of the bump. If you're not showing already, this is generally where your baby bump starts to become a little more visible. Well, it is unless you are me. It only became abundantly clear that I was pregnant at around 7 months. This is me at roughly the 5-month mark. As you can see then, I was only showing the smallest signs of a bump. And again, just about to go into trimester 3, still barely anything. I think there is a certain pressure when pregnant for the outside world to visibly see your bump. I know living in London, I felt really uncomfortable asking for a seat on the tube or the bus, as people don't tend to offer unless you are visibly pregnant. I'm actually 34 weeks now and people still don't offer, but that's London for you. But for a long time, I felt very self-conscious of my bump or lack thereof. And people constantly commenting on how small you are in pregnancy can have the same effect as the reverse statement. Oh, you're huge. But we'll talk more about this in another video, as it's a topic I feel very, very strongly about. As I have and always will say, everybody's body is different. And pregnant or otherwise, it is not anybody's place to comment. On a similar note, I had finally gone up a size in my jeans, which for someone with a past of eating disorders frightened me more than anything. It sounds ridiculous as you are literally growing a new life, but these deep-rooted fears can be incredibly difficult to overcome even in these kind of situations. I'm really lucky in having a very stable and understanding support network, but I appreciate that not everybody has that same luxury. We actually moved hospitals in trimester 2 due to the lack of mental health support, so I will be sure to link some helpful tools down below for both pregnancy and eating disorder support. Regardless of learning to love and respect my new body, trimester 2 was going well. I was still struggling to connect the wriggly foreign object in my stomach to an actual human being, but my therapist says it is completely normal to not instantly connect with the baby that you're growing. For some people, this doesn't happen until you are physically holding your baby, and sometimes even then the supposed motherly bond doesn't happen. So if you're like me, don't worry. The disconnect and the concerns associated are completely normal. You will get there eventually. So coming up to the end of trimester 2 and your girl gets COVID. Brilliant. Now luckily I'd had my booster jab about 2 weeks beforehand, so I wasn't that badly affected. But being pregnant, doctors recommend going on a 10-day course of blood thinners, as blood clots are more common during pregnancy. Unfortunately, blood thinners come in injection form, so poor Tom spent 10 days injecting me in the leg once a day. Not the most pleasant experience for either of us, but as you very soon learn, you will do anything to keep your little person safe. Lastly, here is one of my trimester 2 scans. I just wanted to show you because you can probably see their little face. But that is it for today's video, you guys. My trimester 2 story. I told you there'd be far less complaining than the first trimester, but you guys just wait for number 3. It's gonna get a whole lot worse again, and then we have labour to talk about. Wonderful. But make sure to leave me a comment down below if you are also pregnant and how your journeys are going. I would love to hear about it. Whilst you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I upload new videos every single Sunday. And my darling flowers, I will see you all later.